Okay, welcome. Orange Black Video 3. I'm very happy today to have both Shihan Kathy and Shihan Billy here to help me. We are practicing social distancing. Shihan Billy and Shihan Kathy are a married couple. They've been with me for over 30-something years. They're amazing people who have their own group of students that practice American Jiu-Jitsu as well. So I thank them very much for coming down. But we did want to practice social distancing. I haven't seen anybody in 3 weeks. They haven't seen anybody in 3 weeks. So they volunteered because they could work with each other, because they do live in the same home, and I'm more than 6 feet away from them, and we're not hugging and kissing, that's for sure. Would like to, maybe in about a month or so. For right now, we're going to finish up Orange Black, and we're going to talk about 3 techniques on this video. We're going to talk about a rear hammerlock and 2 variations of a full Nelson, which is possibly could be a lethal type of a technique if put on you. Now, the cool thing about the hammerlock is you get to see how American Jiu-Jitsu works. Remember I said it was like pieces of a puzzle. All right, we're going to put things together. In a previous video, I showed you how to deal with a cross wrist grab, and now you're going to see when you come out of this hammerlock thing, hammerlock technique, how this cross wrist grab is going to tie into this technique as well. All right. The big thing is with the hammerlock is that if a person torques your arm up, that's when a person torques your arm up, they can break your arm, snap your shoulder, and you're not going to be able to do anything. Remember something about pain. When people are in pain, they react differently. We want to prevent pain from occurring. So the first thing on a hammerlock is when a person grabs you like that, is we want to turn our body and kind of put our body over our own hand so the person can't pull that arm up. And we'll demonstrate that before we even do the technique. Then from there, we're going to use our basic mid-range weapons. We're going to use the back fist strike, the infighting elbow strike, and mid-range back fist strike. And we're going to turn the person, and then you're going to see how it's going to tie into the same exact technique that we do at Orange Belt with the cross wrist grab. So let's do it. All right. So as the technique gets put on, notice how Shihan turns and lowers his body. Before you do that, Shihan, turn and lower the body so they can't do the arm bar. Just turn it right. So right now, if Shihan Kathy tried to pull up on the arm, it's going to stop it. It's going to give us time to be able to do the technique that we're talking about. Then he's going to strike face, body, groin, face, and now watch this. It's going to tie into that Orange Belt technique that we did. Thumb to the nose. He does the roundhouse kick to the groin. He punches to the face. He breaks the person's arm. Knee strikes with the left, and roundhouse elbow strike to finish it off. Okay, see how things are tying together? That's why it's a system. This is not a bunch of techniques on a piece of paper. This is actually a system that I developed over the last 50 years of my life. So, let's look at that one more time. Hammerlock, he settles in. Let's do it side by side. I think that was better. Okay, from here, settles on the arm. See that? Now, face, body, groin. Face, body, groin, face. Comes out. Here's your roundhouse kick to the groin. Boom, punches to the face, breaks the arm, knee strikes, and roundhouse elbow strike. Perfect, okay? Next technique. Next technique is a full Nelson. Now, full Nelson is something that a lot of people kid around about. I remember years ago, one of the people I knew was kidding around with this technique and almost killed somebody, almost broke their neck. So there's no joke here. Instinctively, when a person comes up from behind you, our typical reaction is to bring our hands in and to settle our weight. Well, actually, they're not. It's more to fight it and raise the hand, which allows the person to get the technique on. So that's the untrained version, which we'll teach you second. What we want to learn is, like I said earlier, is to learn to settle. When a person attacks us from the back, the first thing we have to do is settle. So in the hammerlock that we just learned, we have to settle. In this technique, as soon as you'll feel those arms slipping up from underneath you, you have to settle, okay? By allowing yourself to settle, both mentally and physically, you're going to be able to pull off this technique. Remember, when people get anxiety and people get nervous, everything goes up really high, and we get dizzy, and we become off balance, and we end up falling down. So we want to learn how to settle in the current situation that we're in, and in combative jiu-jitsu. So what's going to happen here is we're going to settle, and in this case, because we feel that the situation is not a life or death situation, it's some bozo trying to play, we're going to put on a submission technique, which we call a Ubidori, which is bending the fingers. Now, let me explain something to you. When you bend a person's fingers, it hurts tremendously. I don't care how big or strong you are, it's going to hurt you. I've done this to people that were massive muscle people, and it hurts. Okay? That's the first thing. The second thing is that we don't have to break the fingers off, although we could just tell the person, hey, chill, man, don't put a technique like this on us. This could actually break our neck and spine and put us into a wheelchair, or worse than that, kill us. So you might be talking your way through this. So the first technique is you controlling it from more of a submission type of scenario. So as the person goes, notice Shihan's going to pin his hands immediately, which is just going to disallow the attacker from getting the hands up. You see how she can't move her hands? Now, this sometimes is a little confusing. Stop right there. Note to put it on. How he's grabbing, if you notice, is the elbows coming up and he's grabbing those fingers. A lot of people want to grab it differently, but the reason why you want to grab it exactly the way he's doing it, pin the elbow, exactly the way he's grabbing it, because you'll see how he moves and how he ends up because of how he's grabbing it. So I always tell the kids it's like an Indian. You raise your hand up and you grab the hand like so. So you're grabbing the two fingers right here. So I always tell when I teach in the kids class, go like how, turn the hand to your left, and you'll see you'll have perfect positioning. As you're moving around, make sure you're going to pin that elbow, as you're going to see Shihan Billy do, to subdue and control the person. So now, as he pins the elbow to his own ribs, he walks out the front door, comes all the way around, grabs Shihan's head, and now from here he can talk to the person and tell the person, chill, relax, or I'm going to bust up your fingers. Let's watch that again. So he settles. That's the main thing. Now the hands can't raise. Notice how he did that grab, pinning the elbow so she can't get her hum out, walks out the front door, takes her left hand, grabs the head, and bang, there's your technique. Perfect. Now here's where it gets a little bit more ugly and a little bit more serious. We got to do the same thing. But what happened in this technique is maybe we were talking, maybe you're like me, you're Italian and you talk with your hands, okay? And somebody was able to get behind us and able to enclose their hands, which now makes this technique lethal and could possibly sever your spine or kill you. Shihan Kathy and Shihan Billy are both retired nurses. A lot of my medical things, we do train a lot of doctors, law enforcement people here, and a lot of my medical knowledge comes from my students, okay? So this is a severe technique you have to be very careful of. So if they enclose those fingers, we have to react quickly and we have to react viciously. So if you remember in that previous video where I showed you the one knuckle strike, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna settle. We're going to tuck our chin to take some pressure off the back of the neck. Now you got to understand something. You're not going to do the second part of this technique until you make sure you got the first part. So as they have it on, we're in it. We're going to tuck it. We're going to pop our hips forward to take some pressure off the back of our neck. We're going to take these fingers and we're going to come right over our head and we're going to strike repeatedly to their eyes. You're in a life or death situation. You need to do something that possibly could be legal. I told you in a previous video that striking to a person's eyes could put him into shock or possibly kill him. So now we're fighting for our life, and this is why we're doing this. When you feel the hands are releasing the technique, then you're going to come straight down with the elbows. You don't want to come down straight with your elbows if they still have the grab on, because you'll torque your own neck. So you're going to strike, strike, strike. You feel the release of the hands, and you will. You're going to come straight down, and now you're going to do a technique that we call a knee down, which I'll go into further explanation when we get to the green belt category. But for now, you watch it. It'll be demonstrated. It's a technique where you take the hand and you bend it, the second joint. That's why they call it a knee down, and it causes severe pain. Okay? I will go into more technical teaching of that in an upcoming video. But for now, you just take the hand, pinky up to the ceiling, because that's what you're going to end up with, and just turn it right back to yourself, and that's going to cause pain on that second joint. So let's look at that technique. So she puts it on and she locks it in. Now, notice how he popped his hips forward and he strikes with the one knuckle strikes right to the person's face. Now he comes down, the grip is broken, he's going to walk out that front door the same way he did with the fingers, and here. Now, I should explain that if Kathy's fingers were open, you could do the same technique that I just showed you in the previous technique. The reason why we changed the technique is because when you strike to the person's eyes, it's very possible for the person to go, ouch, and now the fingers are not to be available. Also with the one that I taught previously, or they showed previously, the hands might be torqued too. So it's kind of just showing you different opportunities in different ways. If the hands are open, take the fingers out. If the hands are closed on either one of the technique, you would do that knee down. So let's watch this technique one more time. As he settles down, he strikes with the one knuckle strike, bang, 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 hands get released. Notice he grabs because the fingers aren't available, walks out from here, presses into what we call a knee down, severe pain. You want to feel that when we come back to an open place, you can come down here and we'll gladly put that on there. I always get people when they see that technique, it's like, that technique is not going to work. And I usually say, well, why don't you just come and grab me and see how it works. Some people misinterpret our art because it looks like the people are going with it. Of course they're going with it. If they didn't go with it, they'd be broken. All right? We're not here to challenge or to say what art is better, our art is the best because it's what we do. Your art is the best because it's what you do. We're not here to challenge people. We're not a competitive art. We're a combative art that teaches people how to survive any given situation, whether that be mentally or whether that be physical. That's why you will survive this current situation and you will come out better and stronger. Remember 3 things. This completes Orange Black. Remember 3 things. Actually 5 things. 1, go to our Facebook page, American Jiu-Jitsu LI, and take a look. We're posting a video every day. Take a look on American Jiu-Jitsu LI YouTube. We have an entire library of all these videos. That's 3 things, right? That's 2 things. The 3 more things is stay home, stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you so much for watching. Green Belt is our next video. Have a great day.